Every single second, humanity burns enough energy to melt 200 tons of ice. And yet we call that progress, because the number went up, the sacred number the modern tribe calls GDP. But that same number can rise even when forests fall. Lungs choke and spirits fade. When hurricanes destroy cities, GDP climbs because we rebuild what was lost. When sickness spreads, GDP climbs again because pain itself has become profitable. And the world celebrates destruction as long as the number rises. So I ask you, if breaking, burning, and burying can all count as progress, what exactly are we worshipping? The old tribes once hunted to survive. Now, the new tribes of men hunt to grow, not for food, but for numbers, for status, for more. And in this endless chase, the fire that once gave warmth has become the fire that devours. Maybe the tribe has mistaken expansion for evolution. It may be the thing we call growth isn't a sign of life anymore, but the symptom of a fever. And if that's true, then the real question is not how much more can we make? It's how much longer can the earth endure? Once, the tribe measured life by simpler truths. Food in the pot, songs by the fire, peace in the circle. That was prosperity. Now the modern tribe measures everything with a single number. 3 letters that rule the world. GDP. If it rises, the chiefs celebrate. If it falls, panic spreads like smoke through the camp. And politicians bow to it. News anchors worship it. Even ordinary people begin to feel their worth shrink or swell with every decimal point. But what does this number really measure? It counts the value of every car sold, every burger flipped, every surgery done, every bullet fired. It counts production, not purpose. And it counts activity, not wisdom. When a tree is cut down, GDP smiles. When that same tree stands tall, cleaning the air for free, GDP stays silent. When a family eats together, sharing laughter, GDP is unmoved. But when that same family eats fast food alone, by convenience, GDP grows. Strange magic, isn't it? A world where even pain and pollution can make the charts rise. The more we consume, the more successful we appear. And the more we rest, reflect, or reconnect, the quieter the number gets. Even Simon Kuznets, the man who created GDP, once warned that it could never measure the true welfare of a nation. But the warning was lost in the noise of ambition. Look around. The houses are bigger, yet hearts smaller. The fridges are fuller, yet souls emptier. We produce more than ever, and somehow we feel less alive than ever. This is the illusion of growth, a bright fire that hides its own smoke. When the forest starts talking back at first, the forest stayed quiet, then it began to whisper. The rivers ran thinner, the soil grew weary, the air turned heavy, and the tribe called it climate. But the forest calls it memory. Memory of all that's been taken and never returned. Every empire that forgets balance meets the same fate. Yet the modern tribe builds highways so wide that even birds forget their songs. Even the cities glow brighter than the stars until the stars are gone. And still we say it's progress, but progress for what? Americans now work longer hours than almost any nation, yet happiness hasn't grown in 50 years. And the tribe builds more homes, yet loneliness fills their walls. Children grow surrounded by screens, but forget the feeling of grass beneath their feet. Growth, once sacred, has turned into a fever, a constant burning that consumes the body and calls it warmth. The earth whispers, "You are taking more than you give." But we can't hear it over the hum of engines and the applause of markets. But every new factory is called a victory, every new shopping mall, a sign of strength. Yet the more we build, the less we rest, the more we earn, the more we spend, trying to remember what peace once felt like. Even the hunters of old knew when to stop chasing. And they understood that killing every deer in the valley meant starving in the next season. But the modern tribe has forgotten the rhythm of restraint. They take and take, believing the earth will always make more. But the earth is not a warehouse. It's a living elder, and it's growing tired. And maybe that's the cruelest illusion of all. that endless growth can exist on a planet that doesn't grow. The moment of realization, growth itself is not the enemy. Blind growth is, a tree must grow to reach the light. But if it grows without roots, it falls. A child must grow to stand tall, but if he grows without wisdom, he destroys what raised him. And so it is with nations. We must grow wiser, not wider, because when progress forgets its purpose, it becomes destruction wearing a mask of success. There is another path, one of harmony, not hunger. Economists call it the steady-state economy. The elders called it balance. It's a way of living where the tribe asks not how much can we have, but how long can we last? A world where prosperity means enough, not endless. Some tribes have already remembered this. In Bhutan, they measure gross national happiness instead of GDP, counting health, education, and the peace of their mountains. And in Japan, the word motainai whispers through daily life, a quiet apology for waste, a vow to honor every drop, every seed, every breath, and across the world. Small modern tribes rise again, people who grow their own food, who trade consumption for connection, who measure wealth not by digits on a screen, but by the sunsets they still have time to watch. This is not regression, it's remembering. It's humanity finding its breath again. Even Seneca once said, "The man who has least wants is the richest." He spoke not of coins, but of calm, a wealth the market can't price. Because when happiness depends on more, it's always borrowed from tomorrow. But when joy lives in enough, it belongs to you today. Maybe the next age of civilization will not be built by higher towers, but by deeper roots. The fire burns low. The tribe sits in silence, faces lit by ember glow. No one speaks, because for once, silence feels like truth. And I tell them this, growth was never evil. It simply forgot its reason. The forest grows to protect, not to dominate, and so must we. We built faster roads but lost direction. We filled our homes but emptied our hearts. We raised our incomes but lowered our peace. It's time to remember what truly matters. The real measure of progress isn't how loud the markets cheer. It's how quietly the people sleep. It's not how tall the towers rise, it's how deep the roots reach. It's not how much we produce, it's how much we preserve. If your paycheck doubles but your peace halves, is that success? If your nation's GDP rises but your forests die, your rivers choke, your children forget the stars, is that victory? Growth has its place, but only wisdom gives it purpose. So maybe it's time for a new definition of wealth, where time counts as currency, where health counts as capital, where kindness and quiet count as progress. The tribe must learn again what the forest always knew, that enough is a feast, that stillness is strength, and that to grow wisely is to know when to stop. So share this fire, not to burn more, but to light others. Let the next generation inherit clean rivers, quiet nights, and stories worth telling. Because in the end, the greatest growth isn't upward, it's inward. You grow deeper, not bigger. Grow balanced, not endless. Grow human again. That's all for today. Subscribe for more wisdom. Garucha vanish now.